City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms. For exclusive extra shows, behind the scenes, competitions and podcasts, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV today on Patreon.
Hi, it's Tom from Leicester Fan TV. What did you think of the game? Now it's my turn.
Hi, Tom from Leicester Fan TV. Just literally got back from the game and thought why the game was still in my head and still full of emotions. I'll do a review of my thoughts of the game. What can I say? I think we all went into the game expecting it to be a tough, Everton coming on the bounce of 5 straight defeats in league and cup games. Obviously going out of the Carabao Cup on Tuesday or Wednesday night to Southampton on penalties after drawing 1-1. But seeing that they were so fragile after 2 games in a row, leading by 2 goals and then losing 3-2 in both games, you're expecting it, yes, it'll be tough, but this is a game if Leicester want to stay in the Premier League, they have to go and win. Obviously, we're all sitting there, hour and 15 minutes before kickoff, expecting the team news. The team news come out and there's one change. Skip obviously gets taken out the team and in come El Khanous. We've sort of got what we all wanted in that we didn't want 3 defensive midfielders. He went with the 2, went with Winks and Ndidi. He's the old try and tested from last year and previous years. And Ndidi sitting a bit deeper. El Khanous obviously playing more of a calmer, number 10 role, trying to link the play up. I think most of the Leicester fans would have been quite happy. Maybe Ricardo should have been in there as well. Obviously, game kicks off, and straight from the start, you could just tell Leicester were not at the races. Everton were the ones, pushing forward. Everton were the ones trying to, stop us playing out from the back. They were high press. They were determined they were going to win the ball. They didn't really need to try because, in that first 15, 20 minutes, I don't want to count how many times Leicester decided to get the ball and give it back to Everton from a stray pass, a poor ball into an area what had hit one of our players and ricocheted back to them. And you're just sitting there thinking, what's happened? What was the kick up the arse these boys needed going into one of the biggest games of the season? And I know it's early to say a 6-pointer, but it's what it is for me. It is a 6-pointer because these are games at home you have to be winning. If you want to stay in the Premier League at the end of the season, you have to get the points on the board. Again, it's a slow start. We didn't seem at the races. We didn't seem to gel. There was no bond between the players where they were passing the ball. There was no cohesion. We looked at team with very, very lack of ideas and creativity. We lacked an identity when we had the ball. We're very good at getting out of the back, but once we got into the final third, it was all backwards and sideways. And I know a lot of Leicester fans criticised Enzo for last year doing that. But with Enzo, there was an end product eventually. Enzo was you knew that eventually you would have a chance to come out from playing with the ball. Problem with the Cooper is we play at the back with the ball and we look like we're going to lose it 9 times out of 10. When we do pass it into the final third, it's a stray pass and it's a hit and hope pass, not a really accurate ball. And you're trying to get Vardy to do stuff that he can't do at that age now. He looks lost without any service, today. And then you start giving away silly foul after silly foul. The amount of times Faz didn't need to foul his man straight to the back of him, you go, just hold on him. Ockley did it as well. They obviously get a free kick. We clear it out. We then didn't organise at all. Ndai, for me, was their player of the match. He had James Justin on toast numerous occasions, especially in the first half. Thought second half, JJ got to grip with him. But the first half, JJ couldn't cope with his movement, couldn't cope with his dribbling at him. And obviously, they clear the ball. It comes out to Ndai, another little 1-2, very basic 1-2 around the edge of the area. And we let Ndai just run into the box, dummy a shot, and then takes the shot that goes in off the post, 1-0 Everton. You're sitting there thinking, right, Now we're going to start playing. We've got to go behind again. The switch is going to be turned on. We're going to start playing now. The rain then starts coming down. The thunder and lightning starts. I'm sitting there talking to the lad next to me, and I'm saying to him, why are we not taking a pot shot at the goal? Why are we not taking an opportunity when the ball falls within that area? We have a shot. Put Pickford under some pressure, because he's not a world beater. I'm not going to say he's a world-class goalie. He might be England's number one, but he's got an error in him. We all know that, Pickford has. Eventually, we do make a nice little bit of movement at play down to the right hand side. JJ puts one towards the back post, and in comes Mavididi, and you're thinking, hit it, son. Hit it first time, or take a touch and bend it. He then takes a touch and tries to lay it off to Alcazus, who's then blocked out, and we don't get anything from it. And you're thinking, that was the chance. Obviously, Mavididi has another one. He stands up towards the post. Pickford again gets lucky. It ricochets off the post. It could have gone in. Pickford got lucky there. Half time, I think we're all sitting around going, what can he do? What can Cooper do? Because at the moment, we look lost. We had no idea, for me, what we were doing. We have no identity the way we're playing. So what's he going to do? For me, the changes should have been made at half time. You know, I think Skip should have come on from Ndidi. I think Ricardo should have come on for JJ at half time. You know, I don't know what Ricardo's got to do, because down the right-hand side, our right back, or the left-hand channel of the opposition, we're conceding goals for fun, but we're not changing it. And JJ gets picked every week. Second half, JJ was better, and he did make more control of the game. But what has Ricardo got to do? This is Ricardo Pereira, who last year was crucial to the way we played out from the back, because he can get forward quickly. He can't get near the team. Obviously, second half, again, really sloppy first 10, 15 minutes from Leicester. Couldn't get control of anything. Obviously, Everton are quite happy by this point. We'll counter-attack, we'll sit deep, and we'll pick you off. What teams have found they can do against this Leicester side. Under Maresca, we saw we could get picked off at times with the counter-attack. Under Cooper, we can see definitely you can get picked off if we don't get it right. And obviously, Mads again keeps in it a lovely counter-attack, sweeping counter-attack move from Everton, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin pings one towards the bottom corner. Mads obviously palms it away. Mads made another save in the second half before we got the goal. Obviously, the goal comes just before the goal comes. Obviously, we try something on the training pitch, winks into Mavididi. A couple of lollipops, flicked it up, Ockley heads over the crossbar. And then from about 10 minutes later, the actual goal comes from another corner, winks. Lovely curly ball into the box. I think Tarkowski, King make a hash of it, trying to clear the ball. It hits and Diddy falls to Mavididi, and he's the quickest to react. Swivels, puts it in. I think it goes in off the defender's head on the line, but into the top of the net. You're sitting there thinking, right, now the time for change. Get some players on. Get Fatu onto that right-hand side. Ayu's been brilliant today, by the way. He was a workhorse. He showed some actually lovely touches in around the box, but he was a workhorse back and forth. So I can understand why he plays him. But now Everton have got their tails up. Everton are fearing the worst. They've conceded a goal. We're not going to lose another game by conceding more goals. But we didn't. And he brought on, a like-for-like replacement in Vard for Edouard. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been crying out for Edouard to play. But 10 minutes to go. As soon as that goal hits the net, Vardy off, Edouard's on. Change it up a bit. Ayew off, Fatu on. But he doesn't make the subs, and you're sitting there kicking yourself like, why is Ndidi still on the pitch? We want to win this game. Get Skips on, who's a bit more mobile around the park, who can nick the ball, play a lovely little 1-2 and get forward. You know, there was a numerous occasions in that game where Ndidi was driving forward and his passing was awful, or the decision making in and around the area. It was rubbish today. Absolute rubbish. I mean, the one in the second half when we were breaking, and it's just run with the ball. Don't pass it. Don't try the hard ball between the centre half and the right back. Oh no, he tries the hard ball between the centre half and the fullback and gives it straight to the fullback. And you're thinking that was the time to keep the ball. The other one when he went down the left-hand side, and you're thinking, lay it into Ndidi, lay it into him on that right foot, bend it in the bottom corner. And he tries to take a shot on, and just poor decision-making when you were crying out for an Oliver Skip to come on with 20 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go after we scored the equaliser. Abdul onto the right-hand side, Amidi on the left. But no changes. The only change that came, obviously, was Bonotti before the goal. And then, obviously, Edwards after the goal goes in with about 8 minutes to go. You know, thinking, well, change something now. Everton are broken here. They're on the ropes. But no, Cooper, for some reason, doesn't want to change it. And in the 88th minutes, he then makes the change. And I think he feared the worst. What he could have feared was making the change, what would have completely pissed off most Leicester fans in the crowd. All the boos rang round at that point as the board goes up to see Steffi Mavididi off, Abdul Fatu on. I've never heard a crowd boo so much to a substitution in all my life. To then, game finishes a draw. We didn't really have a chance after that. I think there was one flow move where Bonotti obviously has a strike that's blocked wide. But they were finishing 1-1. The players dropped to the knees. 5 games into a season, the players are already dropping to their knees because they can't believe they haven't won a game of football. But I can sit here and can't believe we haven't won it because the first half performance was totally shocking and it was disappointing. I don't think I've seen a Leicester crowd look so depressed in all my life. It was awful. And then after the game, we're in the car driving home and we're listening to Cooper, seeing what he has to say about his substitutions and choices. And he comes out with one of the most ridiculous comments I've ever heard a manager say for Leicester. Owen on Palmer Atkins asked the great question, why, you got a bad reaction for taking off Mavididi. What's your reply to that? And all he says is, Mavididi had run his race and we just felt it was time for him to come off. Mavididi has run his race on 88th minutes. What? You're telling me Mavididi couldn't see out another 6 minutes? What? Behave yourself, Colin. Steve Cooper. I'm sorry. 6 minutes. There was 2 minutes to go and we played 4 minutes. You're telling me Mavididi has run his race? Absolutely ridiculous. You didn't like the reaction you got from the Leicester fans because the Leicester fans could see Mavididi was confident. He'd scored the goal. He was flowing at that point with step overs, and Garner on that left side, on the right hand side, had just been booked. Didn't know what to do with him. But no, you take him off and you leave Jordan Ayew, who's 30 or 34-year-old bloke, and put Abdul on to the weaker side. For someone who watched all our games last year, Steve Cooper, and said, I've watched all the games. Yeah, I get it. I get what they did. I get what players play in what positions and where their strengths and weaknesses are. Anybody but anyone knows Abdul Fatu's strength is running down the right-hand side, cutting in onto his left foot and delivering across the back post or shooting. But no, you put him onto the left-hand side. What's his sort of weaker side? Because all he can do then is run down the line and cross it. What he isn't great at the best of times is just trying to do one on off the left. He likes to cut inside. He likes that little 1-2 around the penalty area. Why didn't you change that? Why didn't you change Ayew at 80 odd minutes? No, you changed it then. And I think that's now really started to worry me that we've got a manager who can't see what players are good at. I'd back Steve Cooper to, I'll give him a go. He wasn't my first choice manager. He wasn't someone that I wanted to come to the football club. Not because of his foreign connections, but overall, his stats in the Premier League aren't that great. But like I'll say, I will back any manager who comes to manage Leicester City. And I have backed him, and I've taken a bit of criticism off different podcasts, off different people. And I backed him to the hilt last week away at Palace and said that he was unlucky, and you could blame a bit of VAR and you can blame Cody for the mistake of lunging in. I can't blame the players when he's putting Abdul Fatu on with 6 minutes to go and tell him to go and do something. That's not time for a winger to get into game and get started. I can't sit here and blame the players when you leave Wilfred and Diddy on the pitch and you got balls being chipped into him. That's Cooper. He's made those choices. Today's substitutions for me were shocking. Been crying out for a striker to take the pressure off Vards. 60 minutes, 70 minutes max Vards can last now. 65 today, when we're still losing, the changes should have been made. We've brought Edouard for a reason. We got him on loan for a reason. You must think he's good enough for why bring him in. You know, you've got Mavididi tearing Garner apart the second half. First half, I thought Garner did well and he coped with him. Second half, Garner didn't know what to do with him. Mavididi had on toast. And then you take him off. I can't back a manager when I can't see what he's doing. And today, I think the frustration is I genuinely can't see the style of play that he's trying to implement. I see us passing out from the back nicely, but once we get to the final third, I see a team that looks disjointed, a lack of ideas, a lack of identity to what players are moving to what position. The amount of times we were screaming somebody move so they could pass the ball forward. Instead, we had to go backwards and want to pass on. That's the most worrying part for me. Obviously, now we move into cup competition. We obviously got Walsall on Tuesday night. Massive game. And a game where you sort of want to see a team go out there that sort of is started lineup now to try and get some cohesion between them, because at the moment we don't look very good at knowing what each one's doing. And for me, a loss on Tuesday, and I think you'll start hearing the cries of Cooper out quite quickly. I'm not there yet, and I fully hope Cooper can turn it around, but I'm starting to question what he's doing and question his tactical ability in the Premier League. That's what I'm starting to question, because then we go to a game this time next week. We'll be sitting here. It could be absolutely devastating, smashed by Arsenal. Now we're going to sit and say, well, we're not expecting anything from it. I still expected to go in there, do a performance, and try and get a point on the road. It's going to be tough, but we've got to play way better than we played today. Otherwise, we will get absolutely annihilated away at the Emirates. I've had my say. Now it's your turn. Get your comments in, subscribe, follow the channel. Like I say, I love doing this stuff. I love having banter with everyone on YouTube and Facebook and everything after, and having some, getting your views. I love everyone's views. Everyone's views matters. We're not always right. We're not always wrong. Every view is awesome because that's football for us. So get your views in. I will be at Walsall away. I'll try to do something outside the ground before kickoff. Bit of a rush today. Didn't get there till late. But also try and do something for Walsall and for Arsenal around the ground when the team news comes out. Always keep it Leicester Fan TV. Good night.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms. For exclusive extra shows, behind the scenes, competitions and podcasts, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV today on Patreon.